This was my first custom commission order, and I might have underpriced it. I'm going to share with you everything that happened. Let's see if I can salvage this possible disaster.
Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna have to do, now that I actually have the table, is turn it from physical form into digital form. This is gonna allow me to get some designs made up for the customer so then he can choose which one he likes best. Now I am a little nervous about the price that I gave the customer. I mean, I didn't expect it to be this big and I was just going off of some photos. Hopefully, once we kind of make that material list, I'm not too much in the negatives.
If you guys are interested in a more detailed look on how to actually do something like this, take something physical and bring it into Fusion 360, let me know down in the comments and I'll definitely make a video. Even though I still underpriced this, I wanted to try to get my first custom order.
Alright, so the plan is we're only gonna do one table instead of two. I'm really thankful that he had the understanding on why I had to change the price. But tomorrow I plan on going and getting all the material, so then we can go ahead and start this thing.
To begin, I need to cut all the material down to a workable size. The material that we're using is 2 inches thick and it's walnut, maple, and cherry. The customer did end up approving the design that I came up with for him. He actually ended up really liking it, so I got away with just making one. My goal is to try to get all of the walnut pieces I need out of one piece of wood. That way I know that the color and the grain is going to match as close as it can. Luckily, I was able to get away with doing this. I just had to end up cutting 2 pieces shorter than the other ones, which is fine because that will be used in the center. Now, as much as I might have made it look pretty simple when it came to, planning with the customer, there was obviously some more stuff that we had to discuss. One of the big things that we had to figure out is what are we going to do about the mounting holes? Originally we wanted to have this replacing the old one, but the customer decided to have it at the same thickness, and instead of it kind of sitting in the rails, it's going to sit on top of the rails. So now we have to go think about longer bolts. So the customer is going to be supplying his own bolts, and I kind of have to go off of some measurements that he's sending me on how big I need to make the holes, as well as the countersink. I think my biggest fear when it comes to doing these type of custom projects is what happens if this doesn't fit? And this isn't exactly something that can be a little bit off. I don't really know what I'm going to do in that scenario. I mean, I'm going off of the original, so it should fit, but I don't want to leave a customer with something that just doesn't work. So that is definitely my biggest fear when it comes to doing these type of projects. So I thought I might as well cut this piece down to a little bit thinner, considering we don't need to have all this extra on the one side. Now that that's all cut, I want to make sure that all of these seams are nice and tight. What I'm doing here is taking the two pieces and folding them into each other, and then I'm bringing them over to my jointer. This will give that perfectly flush seam. But unfortunately, the results weren't that great, so I decided to come back with another idea. Okay, so let's talk about the money. I obviously am not going to be making a lot from this, and to some people I may be wasting my time by doing this project. Now, in the end, if the customer isn't happy with the final results, it is going to feel like a bit of a waste of time, and it's of course not going to make me happy. Which, by the way, as I'm recording this, I still haven't given it to him. He's picking it up tomorrow, so we'll have to see. But so far, this customer has been really cool, so the fact that I'm helping this guy out and making him happy is already a positive. And another thing I think about is all the family dinners and get-togethers that are going to be happening with this barbecue table, and it's going to be in somebody's life, maybe for the rest of their life, and I think that is also such a cool thing to think about. As much as I might have not made much money, if any at all, I think it's still worth it. So it's the next day, and we're going to go ahead and take the two glue ups out and then glue them together. There is also these little black spots, and if you're wondering what they are, it's just these little stain marks that happen whenever you do the glue up on the pipe clamps. So just going to clean up those, and then we'll put everything together. And that's it. We have it all glued up. Time to sit back and relax while it dries, so then tomorrow we can start... Wait, what is that? So, do you see the problem? Not yet? Okay, let me see if this helps. How about now? Well, if you still can't see it, hopefully you can now. Obviously, something happened to make it not sit flat. My assumption is that when I was jointing the pieces, I obviously didn't have one of the pieces perfectly flat, which then made it have this kind of bowed shape. Well, there's not much we can do about it right now, so let's lift this heavy ass thing and we'll deal with this tomorrow. All right, it's a new day. Let's get a better look at how bad this is. Well, it's definitely pretty bad. So what I'm going to do to fix this is use my sander. I'm going to basically sand it all down flat first with 80 grit sandpaper, and then I'll focus on the high areas, bringing that down to meet the center where it's not bowing. Okay, so this is a much more acceptable level, something I can work with when I go ahead and start trimming this to size. I can always come back at the end when I'm doing my final sanding to finish it up. If you guys have enjoyed the video so far, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like, and of course subscribe if you want to see more content like this. It helps a lot, and if you change your mind by the end of the video, you can always undo it. Thank you.
So my original plan here was to use a router and then a flush trim bit with the original table so that it would be exact. Problem is that my flush trim bit is not long enough, so I'm going to most likely have to use sanding, which is not exactly a great thing. I'm not exactly super happy about that. If I knew I had to sand, I would have probably cut a lot closer to the line with my jigsaw. I guess the only thing that I can do at this point is get to sanding.
Yeah, so that lasted about 5 minutes. So I'm actually going to be using the table as a template, and to do that I'm going to clean off all the edges and then apply some blue painter's tape. Now the painter's tape doesn't only protect the table, even though the customer said he didn't need the original. It's going to also leave me a few mils to be able to sand without making it smaller than the original.
So we made a little bit of a mistake. I don't think my platform was secure enough, and it kind of wobbled a bit and then dug in a little bit extra in this corner. It also damaged the original top, which I'm a little upset about. How am I gonna now fix this? It's a decent amount that it took off too, so. I have one idea. Okay, so the plan that I have is I move the whole table over as much as I think I can. I'm gonna router this side. That way I can kind of see if I have enough meat on this side and double check to see how much I was able to remove from that mess up. I also came up with a new solution for my plate thing. I basically attached 2 pieces of plywood, screwed one in on that side, and then also used a clamp on this side. So let's hope this works. Quite the series of events. I damaged the top again. I'm trying to not damage it. The client said that he doesn't need this top anymore. But the problem is now looking at this, it's a little wavy. There's no, like right here, there's no taper, but over here there's a taper. I think I just have to go off of however it is, hope for the best, and see how it turns out.
Now, don't mind my janky setups, but can you guys give me some tips in the comments if you guys have a better way of kind of dealing with a situation where you don't have an even flat surface to be able to lay your router on? I'm curious to see if there's something else out there, so let me know. Now before I do the round over, I want to mark where these screw holes are. It should be easier to line it up now before that round over's on.
Okay, so today is sanding day. I plan on getting this completely sanded down to 220. Might do a quick 320, 400 just by hand. I did the round over, confirmed with the customer that we're not gonna round over the inside or the bottom edges. I'm not gonna film much because sanding is not exactly enjoyable to watch. For the holes, the mounting holes, I ordered some Forstner bits and they should be here today. So let's get to it.
Before we go ahead and start sanding, I'm gonna go ahead and just make some small holes where those marks I made were. That way they don't get lost during the sanding process. There's also this one hole that I had to measure myself. I'm assuming that this is going to end up being in contact with water one day, so just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and raise the grain. Alright, so let's start with drilling these holes. I'm going to make sure that I have these a little bit oversized, that way I'm accounting for wood movement. And I'm using these squares to help me make sure that I'm keeping it straight because this is just too heavy for my drill press.
You would not believe what just happened. My bit snapped in the hole. Jesus.
In hindsight, I probably should have used a spade bit, which I did end up doing, and I did end up getting it removed, but of course I forgot to hit record on my camera, which was so satisfying. But let's get ready for finish. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out, and you're about to see some final results, so I hope you enjoy them. If I was to take something away from this that I learned, I would say I really do need to focus on my pricing. I have an idea to build some sort of resource in the future to help with pricing these type of projects, so if you guys are interested in seeing something like that, make sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Thank you for watching.